Okay, today we're looking at what I call the happiest people on earth. And of course, we start with a song. I've got joy like a fountain, joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Of course, The Happiest People on Earth is the title of a book by Demos Shekarian, who is, of course, the founder of the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International. I read the book a number of years back, and it was really very edifying. It was very encouraging to my faith as a believer. And of course, I recommend it if you can still get hold of it. If you can get hold of it to read it, it's going to be a real encouragement because this is someone that was a successful business person, or is a successful business person, and then of course, he's also a believer. So, which means that you can actually combine both. You can be successful in the marketplace, and you can also have very spiritual well-being. And we see this captured in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 3, as his divine power has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness through the knowledge of him who calls us of glory and virtue. So God has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness. Of course, that life is eternal life, but we know that we start to enjoy eternal life from here. So we can have eternal life, we can have life, happiness, goodness, success here, and we can also be spiritual. And I think the reason why this is important is because in some instances you see, people placing too much emphasis on particular parts of the gospel instead of giving the full gospel. Some ministries place a lot of premium on holiness. They preach it every time, which is very important because without holiness, no man shall see the Lord. We need to be people that are living righteous lives. We don't want to give occasions for the enemies of God to blaspheme his name because of the way we live our lives. We can't be living scandalous lives and claim to be believers. So that is valid. But sometimes it's so much of holiness, and then there's very little power. And then there are some ministries, a lot of emphasis on power, but nothing about holiness. And you see people, God is showing his power, but when you look at the kinds of lives that they live, they do not reflect the glory of God. Some are very strong in the word, they are grounding in the word, everything is going to be scriptural, they check out the scriptures, they teach the scriptures, but there's no power. Some overemphasize prosperity, and that's why people have criticized the church. Too much talk of prosperity and all of that. But let's bear in mind, all of this is part of the gospel. And we need to be people that are living the full gospel. We are living lives of holiness. We are grounded in the word. We are showing forth God's power, and we're also prosperous people, which is really what the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship was really all about. So we need to be spiritual, and we're also successful in the marketplace. This is how God intended us for us to live life to the full, and this is the way to live, and reflect the gospel.